And we had a segment yesterday talking about Shilo Sanders and his Instagram story, where he posted, hey, defensive transfers, DM me. Offensive transfers, DM my brother Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, of course, the quarterback at Colorado, Shilo Sanders, the safety at Colorado, both sons of Deion Sanders. And, I mean, my mentions just filled up. just filled up. And God bless you for it. I'm glad that y'all are watching the show, and we appreciate y'all having an opinion on what we're talking about here. That's what this is about. But the response we got was amplified because Luther Burden, the best player on Missouri's roster, tweeted out, transfers, DM me. And so immediately it's like, hey, is this poor execution? Hey, stand on business here. Talk about this. What do you think about this? Is Missouri not a good football team now? Or are they lacking in execution and organization? And it's just like it filled up the mentions. So I feel like it's probably best for us to address that right now together. Again, first, thank you for being involved here. Like we appreciate you having an opinion. That's what this thing is about, all right? So there's nothing personal here. We're just talking college football, so we appreciate y'all being a part of that. Second, is it poor execution still? Yeah, I think it is. Again, I would not go about it that way personally. Like I have nothing wrong, or there's nothing wrong with tweeting out transfers, DM me. Hey, if you want to play here, DM me. I'm all about that. But if that's your strategy, I wouldn't go that way. I don't think that's the best way forward. I don't think that's the most efficient way forward. Now, I have to believe, based on, again, I'm speculating here, based on what I can tell, the way that Shilo put his Instagram story out, it felt a little more strategic, which more power to you. Luther Burden's felt a little more casual. Is that the case? I don't know, but that's the way that it felt to me. So if it's something you're leaning on, is getting a DM from a potential transfer, more power to you. But again, I don't think that's the most efficient way about it. I would have to believe that the coaching staff going and being the front-facing part of that would be the way to go about it. But then everything was directed back towards, well, what about Missouri? What about Luther Burden? Say the same things you said about Colorado as you would say about Missouri today. Here's the thing, man. Again, the issue is not the tweet. The issue is not the Instagram story. The issue, and I said this multiple times yesterday, I don't have a problem with the Instagram story. What I have a problem with is the functionality of it. The facts of the matter are the results are the results. Colorado went 4-8 last year, and they're not recruiting the high school level effectively. And currently, they don't have the roster they want to have. And I'm not saying that's the roster they're going to have long-term there at Colorado. I think if Deion Sanders is consistent and persistent, and quite frankly, if he starts making some in-home visits, that could change the whole game for them. But to eval Missouri the same way as we do Colorado is just lunacy. It makes zero sense. Missouri won 11 games last year and won the Cotton Bowl. I'm not going to speculate on Eli Drinkwitz the same way I'm going to speculate on Deion Sanders because I know what Eli Drinkwitz is, man. He's won everywhere. He won at App State. He's built Missouri up in the toughest conference in America. The execution of tweeting out, hey, transfers DM me, I personally wouldn't do it, but I know that Missouri is doing things the right way internally. I still have questions about Colorado. We got coaches getting demoted, like I said yesterday, taking head coaching jobs somewhere else. That's a bad look. That's a bad look. Say what you want to say. Now, the transfer portal exodus right now, we're going to find out more about that, I think, here as these coming weeks go on. What I would say, though, is the context of all of this is key. Same thing with Lane Kiffin. He's surviving on the portal right now. Andy Staples had a great segment on his show this morning on the On3 YouTube channel about this. So another reason to be subscribed here. Make sure you're locked in. Lane Kiffin relies on the portal, and that's great. If Deion wants to rely on the portal, that's great. But if you don't get the results that you want to have, you should change your approach. Eli Drinkwitz, he makes home visits. Okay, I promise you, he's front-facing. He's talking with those kids in their living room. Deion Sanders refusing to do that. Again, to me, it's an execution thing. It's an approach thing. And it's one thing to have a different approach when it works. So far, you look at what Colorado is, it hasn't worked. And I'm not saying that's who they're going to be long-term. Again, Deion Sanders, the most charismatic individual probably on the face of the planet. Far be it for me to tell you he can't go and attract top talent and they can't start winning some football games. But if you're going to stand on this way of doing things, you got to start getting some results. It's a 4-8 football team last year. Massive improvement from the year before. I'm not defining Colorado right now, but if you want to define Missouri the same way as Colorado, look at the records, man. They're vastly different. The way they do things, vastly different. You can't say Luther Burden tweeted this out, Shilo put this on his story, so they're the same situation. They're not. They're not. Okay? So with that being the case, I'm encouraged to hear what y'all are thinking on this. I'm encouraged to hear y'all's responses on the socials as well as in the comment section. But again, the thing I'll say here, Missouri, 11-win football team. Colorado, 4-win football team. Still very early. But let's not pretend that's apples to apples. It's just, it's not. I have no problem if you want to put that on the socials. If you want to go out and put it on your story, if you want to go and call to action for transfers to reach out to you, that's more than fine. No problem with it. But the Colorado picture, to me, adds to a lack of functionality. Missouri's felt a little bit more casual, and I'll leave it at that. The hard count also brought to you by our folks over at Game Time. Game Time, best tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. They're going to assist you in making sure that you don't get ripped off. Nobody likes to get ripped off. Don't let it happen with you. With Game Time is the best way to make sure that doesn't happen. Talking about ripped off with the best prices, you find a ticket in the same row or section for less Game Time. Guess what they do? Credit you 110% of the difference of what you paid for, okay? So that's a great deal. Also, Game Time, they make sure that you get the right seat when you're watching, okay? So if you are going to buy a ticket and you sit down behind a pole, it means you didn't buy on Game Time, because Game Time will let you see the view from your seat before you purchase using the Game Time app. So here's what we're going to do. Download the Game Time app, redeem code HARDCOUNT for $20 off your first purchase. Again, redeem code HARDCOUNT, HARDCOUNT, terms apply, redeem code HARDCOUNT for $20 off your first purchase. Game Time, best tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of the Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.